How's it going, Capricorn community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. First off, let me start this video by saying thank you. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Now, with that being said, this is a space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors of all the positive messages that are going to come out. Keep in mind, this is not love tarot. This channel is geared around self-empowerment, and what that means to me is us building our stepping stones to get closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. Capricorn, what is this vibe? Right before I turned on the camera, I had something fall to the ground. Things are definitely overstacked here, and it's time to clean up. It's time to clean out the house. It is time to cleanse. People look at cleaning as just a chore that's no fun, but actually, if you knew the energy ties to it, and if you could see how you remove old, sticky energy that brings you down, you would probably want to clean more. Honestly. I don't know if Capricorns have ever heard of how you can buy certain objects that will have certain energies attached to them, and you end up bringing those energies in your home. This could go with people. This could go with objects. This could go with a lot of things that you bring into your home. Even with yourself, because when we're out and about, we are like sponges at times where we're absorbing the energies around us. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe, Capricorn. Broken down, bent out of shape. Now, this is from the ideal form or ideal self. Despair, unsure what to do or even which way to go. Everything around you feels like it's falling apart. So much feels out of your control. You feel stuck, paralyzed from it all. You see no way out. And this is, I'm hearing this as ancestors. So, and I quote, "Why do you hide from yourself?" End quote. Maybe you are so paralyzed from life's events that have been unfolding. But all these events are unfolding for a reason. Remember, everything is divinely timed. Everything is within the divine's plan. And I did Tauruses not too long ago. Earth signs, y'all are going through it. You are going through it, whether you need to rest and take care of yourself or it's time to clean out house kind of thing. And what was mentioned with the Taurus's story is, you think you can be stubborn? Do you really think you can out-stubborn the divine? I don't think you can. And I think a lot of things are happening right now because the divine is trying to put you in a position to where you're going to get motivated to do something else. To play the game of life, you have to participate, or you can choose to participate. But if you don't want to play the game of life, then life is gonna play you, Capricorn. Everything that we don't get involved in, whether it comes to work, home, family, friends, will set its own tone in our lives. To make things happen, you have to be willing to roll the dice and make the moves that you are scared to make. At this point in time, just know time right now is just a number. It's just a number. You are neither too old, too young, or too late to start playing this game of life. And the big theme around this, besides just cleaning house, is Capricorn. You need to get up. You need to be an active participant in your life. Sitting there and waiting for life to happen has gotten you stuck in this position, has gotten you stuck with the divine trying to really bear down the weight of you not making moves on you. Little fun fact is, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but do you know why great white sharks are not in aquariums? Why they can't put them over there at SeaWorld with the orcas and stuff like that? It's because great white sharks need to continuously move in order to breathe. In life, we have to move. We have to stay motivated to keep ourselves vibrant, to keep ourselves alive energetically. And when you start to hold yourself back, when you start to stay in one position, then you start to take your life force away from you. You start to take your very vibrance away from you. Your very vitality, I'm hearing to say. So this is something that you need to think about. I'm always telling people who have a rough time, if you don't know what to do with your day, go pick a room and clean it. Because there gives you a visual of you accomplishing things. For myself, I don't know if I'm on the spectrum of ADD or ADHD, because there's certain things that I do that I'm like, oh, that kind of reminds me of these personality traits that go with those. But for myself, I have to make lists. I don't have a routine. I can try a routine. Sometimes it's really hard to stick to routines for me, unless I really, really, really concrete it in there for myself. So because I don't have a certain cleaning routine of when I do certain things, or certain days that I accomplish certain things on, I have to make a list. And this list helps me stay on task. But it also visually gives me the feeling of accomplishments when I can cross things off this list, letting me feel and see that I'm handling things, that I'm also participating in the day, opposed to like being a couch potato or just, wanting to stay off in my room and wanting to hide from the world. So right now, your participation in life is really important, Capricorn. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction. What is it? What is it? What is it, angels and ancestors, that needs to come out for the introduction for the Capricorn community? First card out that we're not seeing, but you're not at odds and ends with, I like this, is Destiny. Maybe this new kind of kick in the rear you're going to give yourself with not giving yourself to sit down and be a couch potato, but to get up, to move, to do stuff, to accomplish things, even if it's just in the home, could be the key to unlocking yourself, unlocking the stuck energy. And this stuck energy, the way you could have been handling things now could have been the way you've been handling things since the past. So right here, the divine wants you to level up with how you perceive things, but maybe with also how you handle things as well. What else needs to come out? It has to do with karmic ties and justice. I don't, was Capricorn in the short story? I want to say Capricorns were in the short story as well. And I want to say cutting the ties came out as well. Karmic justice. I'm having a little bit of a deja vu that these cards have came out also in a previous story for Capricorn. We've talked about before in other stories that sometimes the people that you've been hanging around with have been in a very low frequency. And you staying around them, you keeping company with them, is preventing you from cutting ties from this frequency, from this energy, and being able to move forward and gain karmic justice. Karmic justice comes in a lot of different ways. A lot of times people just perceive karma as a bad thing, but karma can also be a good thing. We get good karma as well, especially when you work hard for the things, when you're showing up every day with the best intentions. Let's go ahead. Ooh, I like this a lot. So what lands on the cutting the ties is rebirth. Remember how I told you the divine is going to be extra stubborn with you. It's going to be extra stubborn with the earth signs at this time. You're actually dealing with the shadow side here. I didn't bring out my shadow side cards because it's not like you're dipping into the shadow side. And please, no offense here. This is just what I'm feeling. You're honestly in your shadow side. I don't know how long you've been stuck in there, but at this moment you are only in the shadow side of seeing things. And with this rebirth card, that's gonna sit here and depict the death card, which is also Scorpio energy, which is 8th house, transformation through relationships. So these challenges that you are not facing, that you're letting life roll the dice on, is the things that are holding you back and keeping you stuck with people. You're waiting for people, places, and or things to make the decisions for you. That's what I'm getting. This is a part of the rebirth of you taking care of business. You playing the game of life, is not waiting for these others to roll the dice when it comes to your life. And with Scorpio 8th house energy, this is just like the Libran energy. These are lessons that come through others. You can't learn it unless you deal with others. So one of the things that you're at odds ends with, and it could be having to do with others, is finding love, feeling love, obtaining love. Where is the love that you're always asking about? Then I have something you're not seeing, you're at odds ends with, and this is really being anchored down in things when it comes to being grounded out in how you feel. But like I said, you're waiting for others, or you're waiting for life to roll the dice for you. You're not going to find any groundedness in that. That is you basically just taking whatever is given to you and calling it that's good enough. But deep down, it's not getting you to where you want to be. Deep down, we can't get the karmic justice here served for you, whether it's good karma for you and hard lessons for whoever these others that you are letting roll the dice to your life. I know we've talked about love a lot when it comes to Capricorn energy. Maybe trying to settle in an environment just to have somebody there with you. But this is not the destiny here. This is not helping you. And I think if you actually look around, Capricorn, if you look around at who's around, what's around, and what's being done for you or what's not being done for you, I can't see that you can really call this love. What I'm hearing is you have a lot of relationships around you that are of convenience. So it could be that people are conveniently keeping you around because they need something from you. You have to be careful with that. Sometimes we will confuse love just for people who are using us. We don't see that. We see that, oh, they want us around. We have the means to do for them. We feel sorry for them. Whatever the excuse is, even if we've known them for whatever, we feel like, oh, that's just what it is. That's just what it gives. That's just who they are. See, again, that's you putting your life into their hands and your value into their hands. And I feel like that's the very thing that sets you up for failure here. when it comes to finding the love that you really want. Also, when it comes to giving yourself permission to cut ties. Just because you've known them for forever doesn't give them a right to always lowball you. So let's go ahead and start with the present. This is very interesting how that comes out. It comes out under cutting ties, rebirth, and karmic justice. There's no balance here. And this rebirth is all a part of wanting to bring balance to your heart, to your mind as well. Libra energy right here. Libra energy is cardinal energy. Libra also represents the planet Venus, which talks about the things that we love and relating to things. As I talk about this, you're holding on to it. The very things that bring you unbalanced are the very things that you hold on to. But it's the very things that you need to cut ties with, and it's the very things that have you ungrounded. It's the very things that have you caged still. Let's see what else comes out in the present. This is all meant. What do you mean it's all meant? What do you mean? You mean I'm supposed to be suffering? You mean I'm supposed to be dealing with shitty people, shitty places, shitty times? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Because it's supposed to make you confront your fears. This is a contract. 3 of Pentacles right here. This is a contract that you have with your soul being, with yourself, with that inner seed from the divine. You have this contract, and being able to work through this energy is going to help you fulfill this contract. Again, this has to do with the rebirth, and this rebirth comes at the expense of these people that are around you and you handling business, opposed to waiting for them to conduct your life, or to say what goes, or to say how much they love you, or how they're going to come in, stuff like that. Alright, something else that we have here is we also have the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords talks about being able to walk away from others. This 5 of Swords is definitely got these others surrounding something. What is this that you're confused on when it comes to navigating your way away from these people? What is it? Why do you choose to keep coming back, or to keep opening the door for these people? Wow. I'm just going to take a moment and just say, wow. It's really neat how this lands towards my, I believe this is a Super 7 stone. This is a cool stone. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because this stone actually has many other stones in it. It's a piece that had more than one kind of quartz. I know there's the amethyst here. I want to say carnelian. I want to say there was hints of clear quartz, probably smoky quartz as well. The camera's not focusing very well on this. But it's very interesting that this card falls out towards this quartz. This tells me that we need to use our intuition, guided energies, cleaning up our third eye, especially cleansing. The smoky quartz, clear quartz are really good for cleansing, but also bringing in, attracting good energy here. But there's something here on the other side that you're attracting in because you are not handling business. You're waiting for things to happen. And the Capricorn Devil card shows up right here, right now. Usually in a lot of the Devil cards, they have others that are tied to this devil. But do you see this devil's just out on its own? Even when it came out all the way over here, out on its own. There's a specific attachment. It could be maybe abandonment issues, because it's so far out on its own that it feeds into you not making moves and letting other people lead your life, in a sense. There is a certain attachment here that you're worried about, and it's something that's always at the back of your mind. I keep hearing abandonment. There's somebody here, a Capricorn, who could be afraid of being abandoned. So that tells me there's a Capricorn here who's afraid of being alone. That's something that you're going to have to reach in really deep to kind of start talking to yourself and understanding why. Why would you want to put up with people who are combative, people who treat you like crud, people who hold their feelings back from you, or who could be unemotionally available, or who could be always wishy-washy with how they feel or how they come in, what they care about, what they're passionate about, kind of thing, with this Knight of Wands. The whole thing is, and this is the work of this card right here. I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example. I'm going to be talking about this Taurus for a little bit, I guess, on this stuff for this time around. I got stuck in a sticky situation with a Taurus. Taurus. I'm such a sucker for Taurus energy. I'm not gonna lie, there's something about Taurus energy that I'm just like, wow. I don't know, it's just naturally their frequencies. I get pulled to the Taurus frequency, but it's like I get pulled to the Libra frequency as well. I love how Libras can talk when they are in balance, not when they're out of balance. When they're out of balance, there's something totally different that's really hard to be around. But right here, what it is and how this other individual is like what you're going through here. So what happened was, I was dealing with a specific Taurus. This Taurus liked to play games. This Taurus was not a emotionally available person. This Taurus was in a sense very, very lazy when it came to, how do I put this? Letting themselves be emotionally available. I say lazily because it was a game that they were playing in a sense. They could have been unemotionally available due to their own insecurities. But again, I only got to experience this from my side of things. So, this person, I would say, was very emotionally lazy when it came to expression, when it came to appreciation, when it even came down to communicating things from the heart. So, because they would show up at random times in my life, in unexpected areas that did not have me comfortable, I didn't know what they were doing. Honestly, this Taurus was married, and I couldn't figure out why this Taurus was showing up where I was, because they lived in a completely different state. But this Taurus, I've never had a conversation with them. Like I said, they're kind of emotionally lazy or unavailable, however you want to put it. Never actually had a full-on conversation with them. Never even really knew them on that level, but somehow they kept showing up in my environment. I knew of them. I don't really think they knew of me. They couldn't have known much about me than what they've seen on social media. But because they kept showing up and the way they kept doing things, even the way they did their social media at times, it left me in a very confused energy. And this is what this one's doing. This is why I'm bringing this up. This one's leaving you in a very confused energy. So what we do when we are confused is sometimes we let others take the lead so that they can show us what they're doing, what they want, you know, make that initiative. Well, that's kind of what happened. I kind of sat back, let this person do their thing, see what they were gonna do. Nothing. Then I tried confronting the energy. Got ignored. So I was like, all right, let's block this energy out. I'm gonna do my healing and I need to figure out where I need to go for me. When I sat there and I stopped waiting on this energy and I started making moves for myself, that's when I started to release myself from the confusion and the ties to this energy. You have to understand, dark energy is always going to play off of you. Dark energy wants to keep you confused because the more you stay confused, the more you stay stuck. The more they got you wrapped around their little finger. And what this energy taught me here when it came to this Taurus is that I need to stop, you know, giving so much love, so much adoration, so much support for other people, being other people's hype men and stuff like that. And I needed to draw that stuff back, and I needed to learn how to do that for myself to break this kind of attachment. A lot of times, well, what started it? Oh my God, what started it is I had a bad breakup. What started is I had a bad breakup. And when we have these bad breakups, it hurts. It hurts. And somehow we have misconstrued misconstrued, I hope I'm saying that right. Love in our minds that in order to get love, we have to always give love. Yes and no, it is a two-way street, but it depends on who you're trying to do this with. So, because I had this breakup and I wanted to basically place my focus somewhere else, I found this Taurus, and this Taurus like had a backstory that I really, really appreciated. And I seen what they were trying to do, and I just, you know, I wanted to show them support, lots of support, because again, they were beating the social what were they beating? They were beating the statistics, that's the word. The statistics, because they themselves had made mistakes in their past, and they were faced with a fork in the road. And their fork in the road is they could have got better at doing the bad things, or they could confront their fears and keep going on their path. And this person chose to confront their fears, and they chose to basically not ignore, but conquer anything bad that was being said about them when it came to them not being able to do it, because they had that one point in their life where they made a mistake. And people who can rise up, who could surpass things in their lives, especially the limits that are being set for them, I always think is a really beautiful thing. So coming out of that bad breakup and knowing their backstory and how hard they were grinding, I fell in love with that in a sense. So it was like a pure love of support, a pure love of wanting to see this other person make it out of what people are trying to put on them as the shame of their past. Because everybody has past, everybody has regrets, everybody has resentments, and everybody has been an adolescent who has made mistakes. A lot of people, if you're an adolescent that never made a mistake, good for you. But this person was surpassing stuff. And again, because I came out of this bad breakup, I wanted something to be able to still give that energy to. for me, being able to give that energy to somebody was going to still fulfill me in a sense. The whole thing is, I never thought that it would lead to the events that followed after with this Taurus. But here, the reason why I mention this is because there is a part of you that wants to love. There's a big part of you that wants to love. And it could be that you feeling like continuing putting up with this, whoever this is, you still being able to love them is your chance that you feel like the only way you can experience love. And I think that's the attachment here, is you're confused on what love is. And for me, again, when I started following my intuition, because again, this Taurus was popping up in my environment and it wasn't welcomed. It wasn't welcomed because it was overstepping a boundary and it was playing a game that I didn't like. This person wasn't upfront with their feelings. This person never took me aside and never had a one-on-one conversation. This person would just show up randomly when they wanted to, whether they had somebody with them or they didn't. There was the last time, or one of the times, the first time, I should actually say the first time, and their last time that I know that they showed up by my work, I had received a phone call and I was on lunch break, and I did not want to talk to this lady. I just did not want to talk to this lady about my child, about her child. I didn't want to hear it. I just didn't. But something told me that I needed to call this person back. And I needed to go outside. And I needed to sit in a certain spot, and I needed to make this phone call. So I'm on this phone call, and I think maybe 50 yards, maybe not even 50 yards. It might have been 20 yards. It wasn't that far of a distance, but it was still a little bit of a distance. This Taurus goes walking by on the sidewalk. And he has his partner with him. His partner does not want to be there. This person is throwing a fit. It was actually kind of embarrassing how you could tell that they were throwing a fit behind this Taurus. And this Taurus was like one of those guys, I don't like these guys, that was walking in front of their partner. They weren't even walking with their partner. Like, if it wasn't for her focus on them, you wouldn't even know that this Taurus was with this person because of how much farther he was walking ahead of them. And I shit you not, I'm on this phone call and I'm watching this, and this Taurus realizes that I'm not in my regular room because they figured out what room I worked in on a regular and about the time that I take my lunch break. Weird, right? So I'm on the phone call. I see this Taurus. This Taurus sees me. She sees that he sees something, and she looks. And by this time, I've already sent a message confronting this kind of thing, and he's ignored it. And he's probably most likely put the blame on me like they usually do. Just like the last Taurus, my ex Taurus, because I never dated this one. Anyways, yeah, I have a thing for Taurus. Taurus is. Anyway, so I'm on the phone. I kid you not, with this chick. This dude walks by with his chick. They both see me. I see them. And she gets pissed. That's how I know it was him. She gets pissed because she sees who I am. She recognizes who I am. They've had fights about me. And I've never had a conversation with this dude. And she starts to go after him. And I'm on this phone, and all I could do is watch how this is unfolding. And I just bring my hand to my mouth like, ooh. I shit you not. You will have energies who will do the most, show up when they want to, and make you feel batshit crazy. Because they want you locked up in confusion. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. That's what this story is about. This person had me locked up in this cage of confusion of what the hell they were doing. And that time that I followed my intuition for the first time, that's when shit started to clear. That's when I started to open my cage and release myself from whatever this person was doing, whatever this energy that they're trying to come in and keep me confused with. And ever since the first time I followed my intuition, it's honestly been a big snowball effect when it came to learning how to cut ties with this type of energy. But that came at the expense of learning what I deserve, what I don't deserve, what is not okay, what I will not put up with. This could be one of those things where you have to follow your intuition to get yourself out of this confusion of what this other is doing to you. Till this day, that was what, maybe 2 years later, going on in the fall. Till this day, this Taurus hasn't said anything to me. They've tried to pop up one other freaking time, but I think they've seen that I have a camera to look at the street outside of my home there, and they haven't popped up since. I don't really recognize any other areas because I ended up moving work locations, and my next work location, you couldn't creep on the location from the outside. It was a little bit more private. Then the following work location, even more private. This one, super private. This one, and this is something that I look at now as a means of protection, is where I work and the location and the means of somebody having access to the building. And maybe this is something that you're going to learn as well, as how to protect yourself. Who can have access to you? When can they have access to you? Are they allowed to have access to you, type of thing? It's hard to navigate away from things that we care about. Again, I had a lot of adoration for this Taurus because of the trials and tribulations that they had overcame. But things got misconstrued, things got mixed up. And I am very thankful for this Taurus, because if it wasn't for facing this lesson, if it wasn't for this Taurus being brought onto my timeline, because the lesson with my ex before I dealt with this Taurus, I wasn't getting. It took this Taurus doing some weird shit for me to be like, you know what? I've been on a healing journey. I'm going to continue my healing journey. And no matter who you are, I'm not going to give in to your temptation. I have healed myself to a point where I am not going to give anybody an option to come in and try and lowball me with how they want to treat me. But again, I had to come to the understanding of what I deserve and what I don't deserve. And this may be something that you have to kind of look at. Maybe it's something that you need to spill out a little bit. Spill out a little bit, especially when it comes to your emotions. Yeah, because look, I got a 5 of Cups here. I have 6 of Cups here. And then I have the Sun card. So, with that being said, it's Capricorn, you like to run from your emotions, but right now we need you to confront that fear. And this is what this energy is all about this time. In Capricorn, your energy is the full moon, which is the North Node type of energy this time. So this is the things that we need to go to. And if you go check out my new moon, full moon interpretation, it talks a little bit more in depth about confronting our fears. One thing with Capricorn energy is you hide your emotions from yourself, or you hide yourself from your emotions. And with the Cancerian energy, they hide their emotions from the world. And right here, we need to stop hiding how we feel from others and from ourselves, because our emotional being is always talking to us. And whether we're conscious of it or we're not, but it's the very reasons why you hold on to things for too long, and why you build walls either to keep things in or keep things out. Go check out my new moon in Cancer and my full moon in Capricorn interpretation to get a little bit more in-depth view when it comes to the moon energies this time around and how they play into our story. So let's go ahead and keep going. Thank you so much. That was a long detour, but I hope you understand that this is something that when they keep you confused, this is when you stay in their cage. And right here we have the Ace of Cups. This contract was meant to show you the fertility of things. The fertility when it comes to emotional stability. The fertility when it comes to being able to produce more, to make more. And this contract here with this person is to show you the difference between what's a fertile type of partnership with people, places, and things, and what's not fertile. Again, putting you right in the middle for you to figure out what you deserve and what you don't deserve, Capricorn. Whew. It's a lot. And this is why you're in your shadow side this time, because you have to stop hiding from your emotions if you want to heal, if you want to get out of the confusion. And what are the attachments that keep you in this confusion? So let's go ahead to the block. Angels, angels, angels of protection. Please help, guide, and protect us as we navigate this block. What is it that wants to come out for the block? We have the Seven of Needles. Seven of Needles that comes out onto the Justice, the Knight of Wands, to this Five of Swords, to this unbalanced energy. I don't know, this person could have a silver tongue. This person, whoever it is, they know how to work you. The Magician, yeah. In reverse. This energy that you're dealing with knows how to work you, in a sense that it's a lot of underhanded things that they do. Could be a lot of underhanded things that they say to you. And this is all through wanting to manipulate you. Remember with this one that had me in all the confusion? It was what they weren't saying, in a sense, that had the confusion. But this one's a little opposite. This one's what they say. What they say. It's not what they do. It's what they say to you that keeps you confused. They could tell you one thing. They could tell you the things that you want to hear. The Empress. So one of the things that they could be telling you is that, you know what, it could be that I'm the only one that you're going to get. I'm the better choice. I'm this, I'm that. But they want you to believe that what they bring in is it. That this is all you're going to get. You're not going to find something somewhere else. That this person, place, and or thing is the best as they come. That's what I get with that Empress like that. But look at this Empress. Does this Empress really look like the best that comes? Huh? Would you want this Empress up in your house cooking you stuff? Would you trust this Empress if she tried to tell you about your spiritual hygiene? I wouldn't. I would not. This Empress is even confused on themselves, what they do with themselves kind of thing. Jeez, Queen of Potions. I don't know, this Queen of Potions is a little weird here. I think this Empress uses their words. There's something here with the tactics that this Empress uses with the words, with the mental games in a sense. And for some reason, it's like whatever they're doing, however they say it, they want to keep you basically in a tank. You can't go anywhere. Right here is where you need to be. But they play it to where they make it your choice to stay stuck there. So remember how I was talking about you wait for others to come in, you wait for others to tell you things. You could be waiting for another to, like, say, terminate you, to break up with you, to let you go kind of thing. That's what I'm getting from this, because you obviously don't see yourself as having the power or the emotional stability to make your own decisions. Again, your decisions are based off of what other people are telling you, what other people are doing, how other people are coming in. And when we have that, we have the 9 of Candles. Something about boundaries. You're confused on boundaries here. Then we have the Tower in reverse. Confused on boundaries. Not really wanting or not even knowing how to invest in your own stability. That's what I get with this Page of Presents. Page of Presents. How do I start over again from the beginning when it comes to embarking on a new kind of balance, when it comes to boundaries, when it comes to being able to let things come apart? Sometimes we try and forcefully hold on to something. And again, this is that Cancerian energy, holding on to something way past its due date. The whole thing is you have a fear of starting all over again. Starting from a fresh start in a sense. That's what I get with this Ace of Pentacles. You're afraid of investing. Now, whether this investment comes down to investing in yourself, maybe you're afraid of investing in another person, place, and or thing. And it's kind of the thing that you're willing to drop your boundaries so you don't have to reinvest. Ooh. Then I have the 10 of Candles. If you don't reinvest, then that's less burdens on you. If you don't stop whatever's going on here and you let the life roll the dice for you, it feels like it's less heavy of a load to shoulder. But the thing is, with that being said, it's the very thing that keeps the lights turned off on you. It's the very thing that is depleting your vitality. Your life force is not getting up and making these moves, because where these candles are on in the reverse position, these candles would be off and it would be completely dark here. What else needs to come out for the block? Ooh, right on top of this Devil card. The Knight of Presents. I get that. I get that. I get that. You just want stability. That's what you want. You want a stable kind of offer, a stable way to go. And whatever routine that you've been in where you've let this other basically make the choices instead of you making a choice for yourself, this has always been the stability for you in a sense. This has always been their kind of package to you. It's slow. It is slow. It's minimal, but you feel like this is maybe the only giving thing that you can get from somebody. But what I'm hearing is love goggles. I feel like I'm hearing that because you have love goggles on. This is what you want to see as love, as appreciation, as adoration. What I'm seeing also is that you've been breadcrumbed for so long, even though the Six of Pentacles didn't come out in reverse, but you've been breadcrumbed for so long that you learned how to become full off of that when it comes to love. Do you deserve to be breadcrumbed when it comes to the love department? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that this, whoever this is, person, place, or thing, is the whole package. I think that they got you fooled. I think that you may have yourself fooled because you don't understand the dynamics of this contract you have here. In this contract, what I'm hearing is it's one of learning how to release yourself from these frequencies, from this frequency. And as we say that, we have the Six of Needles. Yeah. So Six of Swords talks about being able to go in another direction. That's something that you're not sure if you can pick up the pieces that you do have with you and go. I'm hearing one last card. What is the last card for the block? Ooh, last few cards. Yeah, and I've seen this in the pre-shuffle. For some reason, you probably trust others more than you trust yourself with this Hermit card coming out like that. But also at times, I feel like because you're trusting others, usually Hermit in the upright is talking about trusting yourself, coming on your own adventure and stuff like that. The High Priestess in reverse is you're not feeling this wisdom. You're not at one with your beliefs. You're not at one also with the divine communication, connection. You know, that mysticism, that transcendence type of energy that is above the mental capacity, that's above the physical capacity when it comes to aligning with the higher power within. I feel like you go against this because you overly trust others. That's what I feel like here. And you need to learn how to trust in yourself. You really need to learn how to trust in yourself. And you have to start believing again. That's what I'm hearing. You have to start believing in more, seeing that you deserve more. That's a lot. What I'm being asked is to show you this other stone. So this is not a hagstone. Hagstones are pretty awesome. A fellow Aquarius taught me about hagstones. So hagstones are stones that have holes all the way through them. And those are supposed to be protective kind of energy stones. They say that like when your hagstone breaks, that means that it basically deflected a bad energy coming towards you. So what I want to show you with this, though, this is not a hagstone. I want you to look at how worn in this is. And how, because it couldn't get the legs to get up and move because it was stuck somewhere, it kept getting worn in and more worn in and more worn in until finally somehow it moved from where it was at and I found it. No longer is it in this area where it once was, where the drops of water were wearing it down. Now it's in a completely different environment that it probably thought that it would never be. I know I'm talking about a rock, but come on. It's the metaphor for you. Where you're at has worn you down. And there's a concept that you can't get up and do something else. That you can't get to another place that, you know, you never imagined you would be. But the whole thing is, it requires that movement, that flow of being able to take yourself out of situations like this. Being able to release the confusion, the fog of the confusion, being able to unlock the cage that you have put yourself in because of wanting to deal with this and not confronting it. Again, with the story that I shared on my little detour, is when I followed my intuition and I started to confront the energy. That's when things started to change, when I started to learn how to protect myself. There's a lot of other different things that I changed up in my behavior, especially when it comes to being observant in my environment, to where it made it harder for this Taurus to kind of encroach on me. So there's definitely some changes, some flowing, some you taking a chance and rolling the dice here and making the moves. But it's going to come at cutting ties and being grounded out in how you feel. How you feel is a big thing here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the conclusion. So divine and universal energy, what is the first card that comes out here? First card that I drop is gonna be this card here. It's the inner journey. This is all about this Three of Pentacles energy. No matter what, you are going to face this journey if you choose to. This is a lesson that is going to continue to follow you as long as you let these others make the choices for you. If you don't choose to get up to do something different, then this one's more than welcome, more than willing to keep you company in its fog of confusion. Just remember that they are there to play on you. All right, so what else needs to come out for the conclusion for the Capricorn community? Patience, but I really feel the urge right here in my body to get up, to move, honestly, to want to stretch. So I'm going to say patience, but we need a new kind of activity, a new physical activity that requires you getting up and moving. Sometimes when you get up, like I was saying, and you start to do things with your day, you don't just stay stuck. You start to feel accomplished. And the feeling of accomplished will bring on feelings of gratitude for yourself. That's only if you allow yourself to have it, if you allow yourself to move. What else needs to come out for the Capricorns? Something that lands on this inner journey, Tower, and some candles is the truth is needed. Along with this journey is truth. What I'm also seeing is you need to stop looking at everything from a Mickey Mouse perspective. What is a Mickey Mouse perspective? Well, think of a mouse. A mouse doesn't have vision that goes far. A mouse has a vision for things that are really close, right up here with it. Now, when it comes to the truth, you need to expand your vision far and wide, like an eagle's vision. Eagle can see far, it can see wide. That's how it's able to get its prey. That's how it's able to hunt. Your truth is something that you have to look at things. You have to get up and get to a higher position, a higher place within yourself when you start to overlook things. So what that means is not sitting in the energy of being hard on yourself, but sitting in the energy of loving yourself, wanting to do better for yourself, wanting to take care of yourself. And when you're in that energy, looking at the truth of the things that are around you when it comes to the people, places, and or things. What else needs to come out for Capricorns? Capricorns. Teaching. You don't know this. You probably want to You probably wouldn't admit to this, but you are a student here, and life is going to be teaching you a big lesson, a really big lesson. We are always students, just like we are all teachers, but this lesson is going to help you teach others. And one thing about this lesson is learning how to let go, finding the duality that comes in letting certain things go, whether it comes to people, places, and or things, again, that want to leave us in the fog of confusion. Remember, you got two cards here that are talking about either cutting ties or letting go. What I'm hearing that's directly connected to your ascension, to you being able to level up and level out of these energies. But again, here, look at changes. We got to come to full circle with some of these changes. Put them up, frame them up, write them down, but be okay that, you know what, these changes can happen. And these changes can be changes that you deserve, that are going to help put you on the trajectory of where you want to be, especially when it comes to finding real love. Because somebody who wants to leave you in a fog of confusion with their actions, with their words, with how they even come in, person, place, and or thing, they is not out for your good. And they have capitalized on you letting them roll the dice when it comes to your life choices. All right, I see one last card is needed for the Capricorn. What is the last card here? Yeah, I love that this came out. Masculine energy. This, I don't care if this has to do with the masculine. I don't care if this has to do with the feminine. Push those goober-headed mofo, pigeon chicken head mother chuckers to the side. This has to do with you and your inner masculine energy. Everybody has masculine, everybody has feminine. It's a part of learning how to balance ourselves. Positive masculine tendencies are exploration, adventure, progress, development. You've been stuck. You haven't been able to explore. You haven't been able to develop anything. And you sure as hell haven't went on a new adventure to explore new places, people, and or things. That's what it's showing here, because you've been too busy in this other one's fog of confusion. One of the biggest medicines you can give yourself right now, Capricorn, remember this is all for entertainment purposes, is the gift of getting up, doing something, being able to give yourself permission to go on an adventure and not wait for somebody else to come with you. You got to do this yourself. You have to create this new exploration of yourself, which you deserve. And you have to develop it from there. All in the truth, light, love, and compassion of the divine, and for yourself, Capricorn. Man, I'm going to conclude this here because Capricorn, you have a very, very tired energy here. You're very tired. You're very down. You need to get up. You need to go for a walk. You need to just sit outside if you can't go for a walk in the sun. Sit next to the window with the shades open and the sun on you. Journal. Do something proactive. Open up the blinds. They say in Native American teachings that the different rays of light that we get throughout the day, especially in the morning, is really good medicine for the soul. We all know that the sun is essential for life. Let the light in. Start to clean things out. Declutter what has been built up around you. Let's start to move out some of this negative energy that's been harboring in the different corners of your home. And let's go from there. One step at a time. Nobody's saying that you got to go through and demolish everything at once. No, this is one step at a time. And just know you deserve the best of the best of the best. That's if you're willing to work for it. That's if you're willing to take a chance. All right, Capricorn. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out with these positive messages. And please don't forget to thank the divine and universal energy also with being here, showing up, showing out what's happening and putting it out here plain as day, so that the Capricorn frequency can feel that they have not been abandoned by the divine. All right? And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.